There, is that right? Hello! Let me know if the music sounds okay, if I need to up the music. Hi, everyone! I gotta recalibrate my camera sometime soon. I want to make an emote of this. I keep thinking that I want to send this, but I don't have this as an emote. I need to make one. Hi, everyone! Thank you so much for your firsts. Vulture, thank you for your first of the day. Ivan! Also, thank you for the hydrate, Calyx. I'll take another one, because I'm live now. I realize there's no point of me taking the hydrate while you guys can't hear or see me. But how are you guys? It's Sun, that's me. Hi. How are you? It's the best boy, me? How are you guys? How you holding up? It's the middle of the week. I'm awake. That's good. I didn't even open up the thing that we're gonna be working on today. Let me find it. Under here? Under here. I missed you. It's only been a few days, Vin. Hi, everyone. Hello, Quintus. Is very high scoring on Fluff Scale Boy Son. That's me, the boy son. I read that pretty okay until the end. It felt like forever. I gotta redo my camera because whenever I turn on thank you for the oatmeal. Every time I turn on VBridger to test out other models, it kind of breaks the syncing with my current model. Because the rigging is very different. So there's some delay in the mouth. It's fine. Oatmeal shotgun. It's like a scatter shot. Still pretending to be Sora, I see. I wonder if you can add a Keyblade. I should add a Keyblade. I decided since we're doing the same thing today, just a different art piece, I'll keep it, unless I can think of a different costume. Oh, now that I think about it, doesn't Sora have wings in this costume? Hold on. Nightmare Before Christmas. Keyblade. It's the cool one. Okay, that looks transparent. Don't be a web P. Please don't be a web P. Where is it? Don't be a web P. It's a web P! Damn it! Wait. Can I find a not web P? The web P triggers you too? I don't mind the web P. It's the fact that I can't drag it into VTS as if it's a web P. It has to be a PNG, or else it just shows up as nothing. I can drag PNGs into VTube Studio. Is this also a web P? Where'd it go? It disappears whenever I drag it in. This is a PNG. PNG's bait. It's so convenient. Here we go. Where should I put this? Yeah, it looks like I'm holding it then. Just got off work. Time to start working on dinner, but I'm here. Hello, Drax. You make yourself a good dinner. Now we're talking. Yeah. Look at that. Oh, Vulture, enjoy your lurk. Thank you to anyone who comes by and lurks and chills. Best Keyblade with the best mask. It's a good design, honestly. There's some very good Keyblades. I wish I could remember the names of them. Oh. What? Thank you for the Blitzball. Oh, that scared me. I changed the sounds to be a much more notable bonk. Did you guys hear it? I want to know if it sounded okay. Give me a scare. That was incredible. It was. I'm gonna get so sidetracked today. Anyway, new emote idea. How about this? I've wanted to make this as an emote for a while now, actually. Because this is how I want to respond to when you guys say nice things about me. So it's like a little blushy, but like a, oh, me? I think my second favorite Keyblade is the Crystal Snow. I like one of the ones towards the end of one of the games. I don't remember what game it came out in first. It wasn't Dream Drop Distance, was it? Anyway, it's like kind of like those light blue yellowish lines that are woven between each other. And it's like the cool flowery handle or whatever, the end. That one's cool. There's a lot of cool ones, honestly. I have some really cool keychains too that are like solid metal. I lost one though. Not like Kyrie's Keyblade? No. It's I might be confusing it with another, but you can I think it has two handles on it. Is that the one that Sora and Riku share? Hold on. It's not what I was looking up. Ultima Weapon. I like Ultima Weapon. Or there's some other variations of it. There's like different colors for Ultima Weapon, but it's the one where it's like crossed between each other in the middle as blue yellow. Anyway, I can just find it. Hold on. I like this one. I don't remember what first came out in. All the Ultima Weapons are pretty cool looking. Do they not have different names between them? Is it just like the different games had different versions? The one that I'm thinking of looks like it was Kingdom Hearts 2. It first appeared in this blue form. Because in some of the older ones, it's old yellow. Oh, it's like red in Kingdom Hearts 3. I didn't know that. Same name, similar style, just like slightly different. The last Keyblade of Riku's a Moto Key. I love Riku's little car key sword. I adore it. It actually has a really cool design, I think. It's much more sword-like in that sense. Press X to Sora. I should make myself a design based on Kingdom Hearts, but I don't have an innate sense for Kingdom Hearts style. Or like final, like even just like the Square Enix style in general. You can tell when something is from a Square Enix game, you know? Either like the art style or the design elements. I wish I had a better sense for it. I should study it. I should stream me studying different art styles, because I love emulating styles and designs. I also closed the document that I was gonna work on today. Anyway, working on 1K stuff. I'll probably be answering this later. 1K! Yeah. I guess I'll just get started on it. Oops. Let me actually see the document size. Ooh, it's tall. Big boy. But let's make it a little bit wider. Doodle doodle! Yeah! Hi, Jesta! Working on stained glass stuff today, because I feel like drawing stained glass. Or I felt like drawing stained glass. That's what we're doing today. Whoa. Eve221, thanks for coming by to chill. Morning, son. Hello, Butcher. How are you? How's everyone who just came in? Wait. Way tired? What a mood. Well, you come in here, we chill, we chat. We're just like a pretty lax place here, I think. So please, feel free to relax as needed. I'm actually gonna rotate this little, because I can. And on another monitor, I have some images of stained glass to kind of keep me on track. You also have Zelda music going into the background, but if anyone's like, hey, let's switch it to this, please feel free to suggest. As long as it's not something too... If it's video game music, not copyrighted, it'll be okay. How is everyone? My morning? Well, it's evening now. It's going pretty okay. I can now buy alcohol because I turned 18 33 minutes ago. That's great to hear. Happy birthday. Is that what that means? Happy birthday. Drink responsibly if you do. I know it's exciting. You know, you gotta take care of yourself. I woke up because I'm in maximum broken sleep schedule after chat's choice. How's Cyberpunk been? I know nothing about it really, but I know you've been playing it a lot. I know a lot of people started playing it recently because of the anime, I think. Because Cyberpunk's already been out for a while, huh? I'm actually having fun with it. Yeah, that's good to hear. I remember Petra asking me, like, what's up with Cyberpunk? Like, why are so many people playing it? And I'm like, oh, an anime came out. I think that's why. Because they made some sort of expansion to match up with the anime? Is that what happened? The anime really changes the game, to be honest. That's always fun to hear, honestly. I'm gonna buy Lego Baby Yoda in the morning. There's a new quest for the anime. Yeah. Ah, okay. I thought that was the case. I wasn't sure, though. Because I really know nothing about either the anime or the game. But that's what my assumption was. Was Baby Yoda. I have a friend who really likes Baby Yoda. That one. And that one. The anime was just top tier and really sells you on the cyberpunk universe. Oh, okay. Was the anime... How many episodes was it? Son, you ball of fire, turn off. It's too hot outside. Sorry, I ain't got control over that... the weather anymore. That's part of my lore. That's also... That's something in my lore. I could control weather, but involuntarily. 10. I binged it the night before I first played it. Oh, 10's quite a bit. But that's also not bad. 10 to 12, I think, is a good... 9 to 12 episodes is bingeable for anime. I feel apartmenty. Kino is in head. Need to remove Kino. The end. There's much more. But this is how it starts. Okay. 4 to 5 hour endeavor. Yeah, that's not bad. That's definitely like a... If you pop it into the background, that's in a day. Less than 800 episodes is not worth it. How many animes... Like, how many popular animes are there that are over... Let's say 500. I say 5 to 600 episodes. There has to be a lot, right? But at the same time, I feel like not too many anime get to run that long. But that's definitely like a Bleach, One Piece, Naruto, handful of other ones, Dragon Ball, probably. Card Capture? That's probably... How many episodes is Card Capture? I don't think it's 500 long. Episodes in Card Capture. Only 70. Which is quite long. Anything over like 20 episodes is really decent. Fullmetal Alchemist is like 50 for both the original and the remake. That I remember. As much as I enjoy anime, I preferred Arcane, but I think we can't really compare. There's so much anime I have to catch up on. I know we talked about it yesterday, but... There's a lot. I didn't watch any anime. I watched, like, the openings. I read manga. I read manga last night. That's pretty good, but I'll just raise this up a few pixels. If I can catch up with One Piece before I die, that's good enough for me. How many episodes of One Piece there are? Did it just hit 1,000? Is that what happened? I've given up on keeping up with other anime. Getting to 1,100 already? Wow. If you just watch one episode a day, right? If this is like you watch one episode a day... Wait, how often does One Piece come out with episodes? Is it weekly? I assume that most anime comes out weekly. Weekly. Okay. If you just watched... And we're just saying for hypothetical, right? One episode a day? How long would it take for you to catch up from, like, episode 1 if it does update weekly? Say, like, here's the math, right? There's 1,000 episodes out now. You start on day 1 of the year. 365 days in a year. 3-ish years. Is it 3-ish years? But is that including the fact that a new episode comes out every week? There's math to it. Because in the time that you watch 365 episodes, 52 more episodes will come up. There was a Shanks movie. Wasn't there a pause in the anime? Yeah, but this is like a hypothetical. Sup, son? How's the art going? Podsko! 15 months. Thank you for being a Superstar subscriber. I should start watching One Piece now. There's definitely, I think there's a guide to watching One Piece, but skipping filler episodes. There's definitely ones like that. I think there's ones like that for most big anime. Gabi said no. You can watch the guides on the summary of One Piece, for sure. When One Piece got to episode 1000, they made a special where they cut 1 second of every episode together and it was 17 minutes. That feels right. I'm feeling like I watched something like that for a different anime and it was almost as long. How many episodes is Gintama? That is not an anime I watched in completion, but I would like to. Because didn't it just recently finish the anime? I will binge an arc at a time. That's how I got through One Piece, but I'm 150 episodes behind. I'm so behind on One Piece. It's been years since I've watched. I haven't watched it in years, but the manga I was reading, and I think I'm like halfway through the manga, maybe. Let's see, One Piece, not One Piece, Gintama. Do I have to do math? What is this? Number overall, okay. Gintama is about 400, almost 400. You could binge Gintama pretty easily. How many episodes do I need to watch to learn if the One Piece is real or not? All of them. Actually, what episode is the One Piece is real? I guess that was like it was like pretty recent. Episode 485. I've seen all 134 episodes already because of YouTube Shorts. It's like halfway through. You need to catch up. Find out that the One Piece is real. I'm trying to think if there is any other instance where I've caught up with an anime that quickly, but I can't think of any anime. I do remember when Bleach was announcing its final chapter. When Bleach's final chapter came out of the manga, I was like, I have to catch up with Bleach, but I don't remember what chapter I started on or finished on. So I read it from chapter 1 to the final chapter in 2 days. And my roommates went, I was missing basically for 2 days, and my roommates are like, son, do you want to go to dinner on like day 2? I'm like, hold on, I got like this many chapters left. Give me like 2 hours and I'll go out to dinner. Never watch it, but my brother says I'm missing something. Bleach is a series where I will say it's one of my favorites, but I will not recommend to other people. It's just for me. Only I have to like it, and that's okay. I don't care if other people don't like Bleach. As long as I like it, that's all that matters. It's definitely fun. The characters are very fun. And you could tell how much Kubo loves his characters. Are you gonna whack people with a giant key stick? Yep. I'm gonna go annoy the boys now. You go have fun with that. See you maybe later, of course. Thank you for coming by. What? Thank you for the blitzball. I like Fairy Tail. I remember reading it all of it when it ended with Naruto. Oh my god, I still have to finish Fairy Tail. I didn't finish the last arc. Oh my god. Heartless attack! It was inside the ball. Now it actually scares me. Before it was like a very gentle bop. Now I am getting slammed into with a... what I only assume to be a very sturdy ball, right? Zelda player. Popping in to remind Son that he's an amazing person, adorable being, a mega cutie with a precious... Ah! I look like I turned into a mouse. I made a little smiley face with a keyblade. The sound is perfect. I like it. Thank Batbug for providing me with the sound. The keyblade smile. Cut in half. I had like a cute little mouse ear for a second. The rubber drum whack is really satisfying. Yeah. Bappa has a dodgeball redeem, I guess you could say. And so I graciously borrowed one of the dodgeball sounds. Hey everyone, hello Tribal! What are we drawing today? I am drawing a stained glass window for my church for my 1K celebration at the end of the month. Son's received too much praise and his smug has reached levels on a table by his plane of existence. Looking forward to it? Yeah, I'm gonna have fun, I think, like coloring and drawing the lines, because there's something satisfying about just doing line work. I love how Kubo wrote a whole scenario of, if Ichigo used this attack that cost him the use of his powers forever, as if to scream at the filler arc to focus on someone else for once. And the filler arc right after that was, nah, Ichigo still has a bit of his powers left. It's also it's enough to make him stronger than everyone else. I don't know. I guess it was in the anime. The anime, I keep forgetting, went a little bit further than I thought it did. There is... when did I stop watching the anime? I think I'm eternally at the Espada arc, to be honest. Is that the Yorm Sun Dem Twitch.tv Floofy Tails? I do have Floofy Tails. But I remember the, like, Espada coming to the human world arc to play a lot on TV. I think it was like on Toonami a lot. Bleach just came back. Have you seen the animation? The anime came back. I was so excited. I'm so hyped. And I think within my immediate circle, I'm the only one who watched Bleach. Really. At least, like, to the end. I look like Tails from Sonic. I'm cooler than Tails, but Tails is very cute. But yeah, I guess I won't talk too much about Bleach spoilers, but it's been how many years? How many years since Bleach ended? What is the time frame for we're allowed to talk about spoilers for this because it's been that long? When did Bleach end? Not the anime. Bleach manga. The new episode's coming out right now. I'm so excited! I'm probably gonna binge chunks of the episode at a time. I don't know if I'm gonna watch them as they come out. I'm at the Espada pillars. Oh, the Espada are so cool. I will constantly talk about my big crush from Bleach is one of the Espada. Spoilers, my brother in Christ, this came out in 2003. I talked to someone who had never seen The Lion King before. And like we were watching it, and they turned to me and go, "I didn't know that Simba's dad dies in this." I'm like, "What do you mean you didn't know he dies? That's the plot of the movie." Ow! It happens, I guess. I thought twice about going into more details. The spoiler. I'm glad I did it now. How, T-dubs, how far into the Espada are you? Do you know who all the Espada are? At least can have another anime. I wish the same for Berserk, my beloved. It happens. The anime gods pick and choose what gets remakes. Congrats on the 1K, son. Scribbler, thank you. I did hit 1K a while ago, and originally I was gonna have my celebration last month, but there was so much going on that I decided to push it off until the end of this month. Because, actually, after October, I'm gonna go on, like, a small hiatus. If that's cool with you guys. Because a lot of artwork, gotta take a small break before, you know, transitioning to the holidays. And then I'll come back. I don't know which number each of the top 3 have. Okay. So you're like right there. That's a good part. That's honestly the finding out of what their 3 numbers are is my favorite. That's like one of the scenes that I probably watched the most. The whole fight scene. Oh, that's such a good arc. More time to kidnap you. Phantom, thank you for the lurk. Also, hi Tia. But yeah, I'm gonna I'd say probably start in November, since it's gonna be right after the 1K, which I'm gonna hold on the last probably Friday or Saturday of the month. And then that'll be right before Halloween. Small break because since I'm gonna be out for Halloween anyway, right? I'd say like 2 weeks probably, and then I'll be back. Also, it gives me some time to work on my stuff in the background before I come back, you know? The number reveal stuff made readers so mad. It was hilarious. Were people really that mad about it? Where did the anime stop? I have like a rough idea, but they're skipping quite a few arcs before the reboot, right? I can't watch the seasons as they come out. Gotta watch season by season or I agonize. Which anime? Bleach we're talking about right now, which is one of my favorites. Doesn't have to be your favorite. It's my favorite. And that's all that matters. And we're just talking about how it got a remake, so I'm just kind of recapping on the anime. But T-Dubs here has not caught up with it, so we're avoiding like big spoilers. I love the Bleach manga. The art style of the manga is one of my favorites. Like the later art style in it really influenced how I drew for a little bit, and I wish I could go back to that. They stopped right before the final arc because Kubo has a hiatus. Okay, so actually they did go up to before the final arc. And they're gonna do the final arc as right now. Ah, I'm so excited. Before the 1,000-Year War arc. Okay, so it got quite far. I didn't watch the last anime arc, which were that group of guys. Skyward Sword flashbang. I'm listening to a playlist of relaxing Zelda music, which kind of has like ambient forest sounds in the background too. The anime did up to the second last big manga arc and had a filler ending episode. Decent ending, to be honest. Okay. Actually, yeah, I don't know how the anime ended. What note it ended on. I should look that up. I should just look at what the final episodes are. I would say there's not a lot of animes that I care very deeply for. Which is not to say I dislike them, but like, aside from old anime DVDs, because that used to be the main way to watch dubbed anime back in the day, I have a DVD of the last 10 episodes of Naruto Shippuden, because that's just the wedding arc, and I thought that was a very fun arc, and I said, I want to have a physical copy of this, please. And that's it. That's my last big anime purchase. It's unopened. I just like having it. Basically, the anime did up. Oh, okay. I left Skyward Sword a few months ago, and man, I played Skyward Sword a few months ago, and man, it reinvigorated my love for Zelda games. It's a good one. Bleach Talk reminds me of the SOL manga, where the mom looked exactly like an older Rukia, and the two kids had Ichigo's face, and the family name was one syllable away from Kurosaki. What's SOL? What's SOL? SOL. Slice of life. It's just like a slice of life manga? The anime covered all the manga saved for the final arc. Okay, that's actually really cool. I genuinely really liked the final arc, the 1,000-Year Blood War. One, the character designs, very peak. The action scenes, peak. The plot, kind of confusing, but you know what? I'm fine with that. Waramote. Oh, okay. I never watched that one. The other SOL. Yeah, there's certain shorthands that kind of overlap, huh? Bleach's filler is pretty much all skippable, same for the Mount arc, because the music was excellent. The Bound and the Soul Sword. Soul Sword, the Zanpakuto arc. Zanpakuto arc is actually really relevant. First of all, I love the designs of the Zanpakuto. I had a favorite in that one. But also, it does come back around into the manga. So, Bounce arc, very good. I love the Bounce. Great designs. And the Zanpakuto Soul Sword arc, also very good. It does reappear in the manga. So, you should give that a glance, or else you'll be like, what an interesting appearance. Thinking back, it was good. Yeah. Also vampires are just fitting for Bleach. I recently saw a clip of the vampire, or not the vampire, the Halloween special for Bleach, but I forgot how much I love that. I do miss the era of anime and manga when they used to have, like, goofy shorts and extra pages. I have a lot of also Bleach's what is it? What did you call it? Like a guidebook? Art book? I wish I got the final art book for Bleach. I want that so bad. But you had to pre-order it only in Japan. I got so sad. I think art book works, yeah. It had like little character trivia and like little in-lore stuff. Like I had this little like book that was all about the Soul Society, and it was like, oh, activities in the Soul Society, and we had each of the captains draw or like make a product to sell at this festival and draw their own little ad, and it was really cute. That's Kubo. A lot of style in his poems are what tie Bleach together. He really loved the characters. He could put like so much thought into even the smallest side character. I love that when manga artists add the little tidbits to characters that would never come up in any of the series itself. I love it. That's one of my favorite things. I miss that so much. It had to that movie to cover the hell stuff that I think the manga was planning to cover but dropped. There were movies. There were the movies are technically filler, but I also like the movies. Can you plan a journey with friend in Japan? I don't have any contacts in Japan, actually. Also, it'd be a bit too expensive. I might be able to find like a eBay order for the book now. It's been a few years. The boy! Hi son, hi chat, hi comedy! You want something out of context real quick? Depends, but I trust you. Lay it on me. Oda once described what every member of the crew in One Piece would smell like to Chopper. Absolutely, I love stuff like that. Appreciate the sound designers, bottom text. That's true, sound designers, very important. Nice Keyblade, thank you, it's spooky. It's my costume from yesterday, but upgraded. There was something recently. Am I allowed to talk this about? Am I allowed to talk about this on stream? I'm gonna fact check this before I start talking about it. Ever should be add something from Kingdom Hearts? I could. That can be leading up to Halloween, you know? I found it. Careful, son, you're on thin ice. So, do you guys know the manga Golden Kamui? I know nothing about this series. I'm even gonna look it up just so I can refresh. By the end of the month, you'll have legally distinct Donald and Goofy co-hosting. I'll figure it out. Yeah, so Golden Kamui. Great art style. Recently, the readers of Golden Kamui have... You can send in, like, little Q&A for the author, right? So many people overwhelmingly submitted to the author, the artist, that they want to know the sizes of all the male characters. You know, they want to compare, and the author got so many requests for this that he has officially ranked all the male characters from largest to smallest, all the main characters. And now that's public information, and it's canon. Size difference. Ooh, not that kind of, not their height. Not their height, not that kind of size. So a little bit lower. Thrice, hello, hi Zuchi. How are you guys doing? We're not talking about anything sus whatsoever on this channel. We're very say-so and wholesome. Hi, guy. Asking the real questions. Like, how many people had to have submitted that as a Q&A for the author to go, fine, fine, I'll do it. Luffy had the same thing because someone's wondering what stretch. But did the author officially post anything? What did I walk into? We're talking about manga and anime. We were talking about Bleach, and I brought up stuff about how the authors will post, or they'll like reveal information about the characters that will never appear in the series itself, but it's sort of like for the fans to know. Sun will become Disney as the month goes on, until finally Sun becomes swallowed up by the mouse like everything else in the world. I should make a mouse form. Mice are cute. World building. Comedy, thank you for gifting us up to Zuchi. How are you today? I'm doing good. I'm working on a stained glass piece that I'm going to be using. I don't know how I'm going to be using it. It's part of the motif for my 1K. My 1K celebration, end of the month, is church themed. Why? It started as an inside joke with me and Manny, where Manny would get me a church to make my own cult. Well, it wasn't gonna be a cult. It was gonna be a church to jokingly rival against Manny's cult. And I asked chat, so what is the church worship? And they said, you, son. And I said, that is just another cult, guys. I love the Keyblade, yeah! So we can all praise the sun, exactly. So that's what it's gonna be. A very normal church run by just a very normal guy. The guy's me. Gonna be lurking now, but good luck with the art. Thank you, Scribbler. And we worship the fluffy tail. I love it. So I thought it would just be fun to roll with it. Also, it gives me like an idea for what to do during that stream. Oops. The only difference between a cult and a church is the size and recognition. I know! But it was gonna be like a holy church that rivals the cult of many. It turns out, it's just another church to rival, another cult to rival the cult of many. But thematically, it does give for like a very cool thing, doesn't it? Like a mythical church that's secretly a cult. Or rather, an apparently very normal cult, church that is actually a cult. I don't know. I think it's fun theming. Like, the vampire who's secretly a priest type of aesthetic. That's what I'm going for. Me, cute! Thank you. I have an idea for a raid message. Hit it. I'm also probably gonna forget later, so tell me. Cults are just indie religions. We've joked about that, and that's one of my favorite things. Handsome me. I thank you. Church of Sun raid. That'll be the raid on the day of. I think out of context, it's not enough. Also, we would have to then also raid into someone who understands that it's part of like a joke or a theming. Or is aware of the church's existence. Let's see. That seems like a good size. I can't use this anymore. Okay, here comes the fun part. Where we get to, start free-handing all this. I'm gonna jump through the closed window, son. You can't stop me. No! Phantorum, you can't! I just got this window! This is expensive! The church is real! Nobody expects the Sun Inquisition? I like that one, actually. Someone write that down, because I will forget. You like up the stabilization. What size did I make this brush? 15-ish? Okay. Sunquisition. How'ma do it? Don't do it! This is why I love this community, because you guys just have like the most fun ideas for this kind of stuff. A sun that doesn't want to go through the window. Now I've seen everything. Give me those blackout curtains. Wind Waker. This is my game. Hydrate? I will. Ever played Twilight Princess? So I actually have not played Twilight Princess myself because I did not, whatever console it came out on first? I guess I just wasn't playing anymore. And I didn't get a Wii till much later. So I did miss a couple of Zelda games. I also did not play a lot of games very actively, especially like story type RPGs. So I didn't, but I did watch a Let's Play of it, like a full play, no commentary of Twilight Princess, and that is what got me into watching other people play video games. That's what got me into like the YouTube gaming sphere. Okay, so it did come out on Wii first. I had a GameCube, I think, since the start, but I didn't have a Wii initially, so that's probably why I didn't get it. I thought so. I thought that was the case, but it seemed weird to me that it came out on an older gen console like after. But I was like, I'm pretty sure it came out on GameCube, but maybe I'm wrong. I'm just happy I can do anything to help you get your gremlin brain cells going so I can see the results of your awesome creativity. Well, it's much appreciated. Howdy, y'all. Hello, Day. Let's see. And that's it for that, I guess. Also had the shooting game. That was so fun. I love the Zelda shooting game. Oh my god, Link's crossbow training? That was my favorite. I love shooty games. I don't like getting scared by things, which evidently a lot of shooting games are like, shoot the zombies. And I'm like, I do not want to fight zombies, thank you. But Link's crossbow training is very fun. Ooh. Ha! Son, how are you? What is this I see about stained glass? I'm drawing stained glass! I designed a stained glass window. I'm gonna draw it. It's gonna be for my 1K church. Bro, just shoot the chicken. It's good. I was really good at it. I got like some pretty good scores on like the sieges and stuff. Let's see. Where's the cheese though? We're gonna get it later. What kind of cheese would you like it to be? Son, guess what? What? Tell me. Love you. Lob you? You're gonna throw me? How could you? Brave. Through the closed window! Not through the closed window! At least open it first. I'm getting yeeted. Get loved. I lob you like a baseball. Wait, I love you like a ah! Comedy, thank you for lobbing the blitzball at me. Like a blitzball. Get kicked. Oh no, that's me! That's a good emote combo. Look how it doesn't appear on the chat above my head. It looks like you're throwing me through a very tiny window. I do it like that. I do that like this. What? The oatmeal. Get loves and appreciated. How could you? Yeah, yeet! Also, thank you for the oatmeal comedy. Right, the church. I actually made the stained glass piece before, so I'm excited to see how this turns out. I love drawing stained glass. I don't know to what extent I'm gonna do this one, because there's various ways to go about drawing stained glass, but I think it's fun. POV, you are the window. I think that's too thick. That's too thin. I'm trying something. I'm experimenting, so you know what? Thicker. And some little things like that. Probably that would be better. POV, you are the window. I am approaching rapidly. Right. Let's up the opacity on that. No, don't disconnect my pen. Not now. Could you? Sun trying to climb back up the window. Hi, Vulture. Getting sun yeeted at me sounds like a decent way to go. You won't get hurt though, my fluff will stop it. Death by floof. Death by oatmeal. A bonus song, yeah. Actually, which one is this from? This is just from Ocarina of Time. What? What? Thank you for the oatmeal. Or Lon Lon Ranch. It does say, actually, what does it say? Lon Lon Ranch from Ocarina of Time. I recently saw a TikTok that really threw me back. Because it was... Hey, do you remember that part in Twilight Princess that goes like this? And it's like the guy playing a whistle, but it sounds exactly like the howls from Twilight Princess. It was like a recorder or something, but it sounded exactly like the howls. That I wish I could have played, because I love the way the song sounded. Here. Here. And let's see. Let's have another layer. We'll invert that. Oh! What? You guys are getting so good at the throws. Eat it into nothing. Half fox, half off. It's a buy one get one half off. That's a neat pen. Is this CSP? This is CSP. This interesting pen that you watched me use right here is actually an outline filter that I've put on the layer. This is something that I do like to do a lot in programs like this. You want to know the secret? Do you want to know why I do this? That is because, so this is just a normal layer that I'm drawing on, right? So I draw like this, right? And I put a black outline on it. And so I draw like a lot of little details, a lot of little, like, boop, boop, beep, beep. Maybe like a ribbon, perhaps. Or string. Hair, maybe? Ooh! McBo! Thank you for the gifted. Key, hi! The son? The cutest son? Me, cute. Key, no, you're cute. But thank you. I'll give a little art lesson. So I like to, in Clip Studio Paint, I like to do stuff like this, where I draw with white, have a black outline on it. What I do is I rasterize the layer. That way, the whole thing is just one piece. And then in Clip Studio Paint, go to Edit and convert brightness to opacity, meaning white will turn transparent and black will turn opaque, basically. And then, ta-da! You have line art now. And if you want to, you can color this in as much as you want. It's transparent now. Very good for line art, for string, for little details, confetti, where you want something with consistent lines. So that is... Oop, that's the wrong layer. So that's something I'm doing here because I want stuff like this to have even line spacing between it. And so instead of drawing 2 lines and trying to space them evenly, I'll just do that. And then I'll later rasterize, and that's actually what I'm doing to this layer too. As you can see, instead of trying to connect the line art cleanly, I just made a white layer to clip within. So I don't draw outside of the white spaces. I just drew black over it. Then later on, I'll merge them all together, and when I turn them to brightness to opacity, it'll basically just turn all into line art. I am a genius, thank you. But good hacks. I love this kind of stuff. You know, work smarter, not harder. Let's see. Thank you for the explanation. I hope it was concise enough, and you're absolutely free to ask again if something wasn't clear, if you forget. I'm gonna try something cool with these lines later, and if it doesn't work, we'll figure it out. What layer is this? I'll have to erase that later. And in today's art lesson with Sun, we learned some neat stuff. For whom's just arrived, what are we drawing? Oh, yes. So my 1K is at the end of the month. I'm celebrating 1K followers. Who are you guys? I'm actually approaching 1.2K. I think I just hit the 50 threshold. But Many got me a church. She took over a whole church just for me. So this is the stained glass that's gonna be in the church. We're installing it. It's fresh. Don't break it. Later Sun will take care of it. We know the song. They announced the Halloween event for rewards for 4. I didn't see that yet. Wait, I forgot about. I know that they announced it. Hold on. I have the post like in the group chat next to me, but I didn't see what the rewards were. I'm looking it up right now. What is it? What will you give me? Oh, what's that? First of all, eat pumpkin cookie. I need that. Any emote? I want it. A caged wisp. That's very cool. Wake doctor. Wake doctor. Wake doctor. Wake doctor. That is quite a bit. I love this. Oh my god. Look at the pants. And this doctor's coat. Oh, the doctor's coat would be so good for Sage. Oh no, I love this. This is a cool outfit. What the heck? Pumpkin cookie. I want to eat a pumpkin cookie. I have this emote. 6.25 comes out on Tuesday. That's so I'm still not caught up with 6.0. I finished Endwalker. I haven't done anything besides the main story yet. Ooh, I need to do that. But I'm also working on commissions. Should I play some Final Fantasy tonight? After stream and after I take care of the commissions I've been working on, maybe I'll treat myself to some Final Fantasy. Because I'm not doing anything tomorrow. I have a checkup tomorrow, which is why I will not be streaming, and I will not be able to appear on Gabi's channel. So tomorrow's just a break. So everyone rest up, play... Wait, did... we play Final Fantasy. Criterion Dungeon and Manderful Weapons. Criterion Dungeon. I have to catch up with the Manderful quests. I have to do the Manderful quests. I'm so far behind them. I just wanted to give updates. No, I appreciate it. I forgot about the event rewards, so it did not come to mind for me to check it at all. So thank you so much, really. Where was I? Oh, here. I'll work on the upper details later. Is that a keyblade in my hand? Yeah. Technically it's on my tail, but it looks like I'm waving it around if I do this, right? It's the spooky season. So this is the spooky keyblade. There's just been a lot of things and events coming up. Halloween? A lot of art for Halloween. A lot of also commissions I have queued. Things to work on. So there's just a lot of stuff that I have to think about, and also my own stuff. But also Kingdom Hearts. Not Kingdom Hearts. Final Fantasy. Also, what I'm gonna dress up as Halloween. As for Halloween. I don't have one yet. I should just dress up as Hatsune Miku. That's alright this month in general. My Twitter has been flooded with goblins. To be clear, this is not a complaint, but still, I was not expecting it. Goblins are very spooky. Also, there is a month-long October art prompt for goblins. So that does happen around this time of year. It's Gobtober, yeah. Towards the end of the month, sometime before my 1K, I plan to pick one of those October prompts and just speed run Arttober. So if you guys have seen like a good prompt this year, let me know and I'll look through it. And we'll just have one day where I draw as many of the prompts as possible. I can get through half of them. Hatsune Miku. That's a good one. Oh, speaking of Hatsune Miku, I'm making a PowerPoint about Hatsune Miku. Particularly, it's because Moon, and also separately Petra, I want to see if I can use it on Petra too, have asked me to teach them about Hatsune Miku, which I want to teach them. And so I started making a PowerPoint based on what I know about Hatsune Miku, and I fact-checked them, because I'm not going to be like, yeah, around this year. And this name, I wanted to fact-check that. So it is facts I know about Hatsune Miku, and I just double-checked to make sure that they were correct. Does it have good, bad PowerPoint transitions? I haven't put the transitions in yet, but I have learned how to, on Google Slides, make it so that images spin upon clicking. I wonder if there's a way to like get more transitions. Good. Yeah, I love it. I need to have like fun sound effects between the slides. I wish they had the really cool effects like the curtain slide, but they have like the basic like flip spins, fade in, fade outs. October has been really cute so far. Neko and Cove have been killing it. I've seen glances of it. They look really cute. I've never finished an October prompt. The best I've done is 2 weeks, and then I get too busy. 2 weeks is pretty solid, though. If I do say so myself. Oops. Speaking of Goptober, you do be say so. What does that mean? What does that mean in this context? Hexacron. Wow. I don't think I've seen Cookie stuff yet. I don't seek it out. I've seen some of them on my timeline, but I don't know if I think I've seen Cookies yet. I'll look it up after. Your latest bard. Very cool. What are the prompts for the goblin ones? Are they like generic themes, or are they all like costume / role prompts? Or are there more like abstract ones too? Has animation and music? Really? Oh man, now I really have to check it out later. It's always fun to go like a little bit above and beyond for prompts. All different. One was mechanical. I saw Neko's last one with the Among Us eyes. Have you seen the one where you can paint nails with Among Us? I don't remember what it was exactly, but it was like someone drawing a finger and they had like the shines like that. And they'd rendered it because they drew an Among Us in the middle. It was really funny. Your Gobbo with a new outfit, your Gobbo in a car, your Gobbo with a gun. I saw the nose one. Everything is Among Us. Dangerous. Cove's Dangerous was a goblin clinging onto a bomb twice its size with a lit fuse. Oh, that's so cute. I can never look at a sad anime character the same again. Among Us is everywhere. It's all around us. Also, I think that's a good benchmark for this. Right? So I've merged them all. And now I'm gonna turn into this to opacity. Ta-da! Line art. Now I just gotta fix little parts of it here and there where I didn't fully connect or erase. And now I've got line art to work on. Yeah. Other people who made Among Us know the impact they've had on society. The group. Absolutely. Hyper! Please enjoy the lurk. Don't forget to pay your lurking fee before you go. Another smiley face! Wow! That was a really happy smiley face. That's a really happy Keyblade, huh? Sorry, I broke for lurking fees. That's okay. If you have channel points, I believe the lurking channel points is only a few beans. That'll cover the fee if you'd like. Does the work like the stacks of Gabi? It's like a tab. You either pay 100,000 bits or 3 beans. I think it's 3 beans. It's 3 beans or 100,000 bits. Whichever one you can afford, you know. Just like that. Sounds like a fair deal that way. Yeah, absolutely. The bean economy is very delicate. Blah! Thank you for the Blitzball. Turn that. The people who created Among Us have to live with it for the rest of their lives, like the people who created the nuclear weapon. No! Don't compare it like that. But also, that has to be the case for anyone who makes, like, culturally impactful things. Isn't it? And when I say culturally impactful, I mean things like Tumblr sexy men. You know, like, do you think they expected this? No. Definitely not. But they have to live with it now. Darker. Can you imagine being the guy who made the original "It's Morbing Time" joke, right? Just like that. The guy who made chocolate. It's all the pipeline. What would you call it? Like, the butterfly effect? Imagine if someone actually paid that. Like okay, I need to go now. Hold on, let me pay my looking fee. Drops 100k bits casually. I would probably cry. Yeah, that sounds about right. Wait, I just saw we met the monthly sub goal. Whoa. Hold on, I gotta write this down now. We got a raffle at the beginning of the month next month. Oh wait, it won't be at the beginning of the month since I'll be on hiatus. So it'll be first stream when I get back. Let's see. This seems about right. Okay. Only 12 days in. Yeah. You guys are amazing. Sub goal achieved! If we somehow, like, double this number, I'll do 2 doodles. How about that? I'll give away 2 doodles. For every 50, I'll increase the number of winners for the raffle. Art raffle. Art. Sub goal art raffle. Stream. It'll be whatever the first day that I stream of the next month. Sub goal achieved! You guys are so great. I'm so happy you guys support me in my antics. Sounds like you use a boost train then? No, it's okay. It's okay. It's fine. We don't get boost trains around here. The boost train does not stop at this station. My pen disconnected. I suppose I won't play the raffle next time since I won the last one. Let the others have fun. I guess I should make rules like that, right? Maybe it'll be consecutive raffles. If somehow next month we have 2 raffles, you can participate in the second one. If that makes sense. But thank you so much for, like, you know, offering not to enter to give others a chance. Do you do commission doodles? At the moment, no, but I do. I could when they're open. You can also get a doodle if you have 100,000 channel points. Ah. There we go. Oh. Music surprised me. Piper, when you say commission doodles, what do you mean by that? I'm realizing. Because there could be different things for that. Transform this way. Quintus, thank you. I do also have, currently, your character here commissions open for slimes, styled after a slime rancher. I'm doing PNGs and also live 2D items. So like little props that react to jiggle. I actually started working on them, and I have a few down. And thank you so much for everyone who's shown an interest in it, and also everyone who's signed up for one. I can't afford a proper commission. I haven't found an artist I like yet. I'm trying to get a PNG for my future avatar. Oh, that's that'd be very fun. I hope you find your artist. Bah! Torum, thank you for the blitzball. The slimes are just this week, yes. So, I won't be doing them all in a week, but I'll be accepting. I'll be accepting as many as I can till the end of this week. Maybe I'll do them again in the future. But for things like this, I gotta do them while I'm in the swing of things, while I'm in the mood. I've actually been wanting to do them for a while, but timing-wise, there was just a lot of stuff going on. Adult. Hashtag ad. Yeah, crunchy. I was asking for the commission doodle to see if I could get an idea going from it for a future artist to work from. Ah, okay. I do commissions for concept work for character designs. I have done commissions for you guys know Jummy's model. I did the concept sketch for that, for Jummy to send into the artist that she wanted to get her model from, where she sent me in some ideas of what she wanted, and I sketched it into something, and then she used that to send to the artist to turn into a model. It was a very good concept. I thank you. The base of it was all from Jummy, but she was having a hard time, I guess, like turning it into like something visually readable. She had like an MS Paint sketch and like a big text of like what details she wanted, and I just kind of manifested that. Ah, Grave, thank you for the lurk. Thank you for the beans, the lurk beans. You don't have to do both. You can redeem one or the other. If you don't want to pay the bits, you can also just put it on your tab. Just add it up for later, you know? I'm very forgiving. I'll let you put it on your tab. You guys want to see a hack to draw circles? Make a solid shape and then you erase the middle. Nice hack. The sun debt sharks will be coming soon. I'll dress up one of my familiars like a shark. Son, what's my current tab? I don't have it currently. I'll have to add it up later. Should I make it like a command? Should I make that like an actual something that I can program into like chat that you could check what your tab is? When I do that, then all debts will be forgiven. I should figure out how to do that. Like every time an individual user hits lurk, they should be able to add it to something. Yeah. That's something I can do. That's something I can do. I should be able to make a currency system with Mix It Up. Where it'll grant you... It'll technically give you points. And then it'll add them together if you check. Yeah, I could do that. All the money and beans will be reserved at the Church of Sun Corporation for the future project Art and Sacrifice. Yes. It all goes to a very good cause. Also, I have questions to ask. Are people familiar with how human churches work? I have questions. I've never been in a human church before. I wanna know if certain ideas I wanna do seem churchy. Folks are gonna compete to see who could rack up the highest tab. I will have to put like a cooldown on it so people can't just like spam lurk, you know? I've only napped in a church once. I've stepped in them. It was not a church, it was a cathedral. It was very pretty. Very scary. Depends on the religion denomination. Okay. Are there donation boxes? If I wanted to have like a tip cup or like a hype cup in the overlay, is it a box? I don't know. Does that seem right? They pass a bowl around? A bowl? Interesting. Or at least mine did. Bowl. In a Catholic church, there's a small box in front of the church. A bunch of candles? What are the candles for? Candles? Should I put candles in? The sacred basket? We didn't have those in growing up in the faith I was adjacent. It's also interesting to hear how different people's faiths operate. The camera's faced weird. You pay money to light a candle? What does the candle do? A woven basket is pretty traditional for it. Okay. The candles are lit for a prayer. Oh, okay. Is that what the Jesus candles are? Those were like tall glass ones that had a Jesus on it? Or like some picture? I'm pretty sure I've seen them with like Snoop Dogg on it. Is that what the candles are? Morn after evening. Morn after evening, Game Lycan. Did you just wake up? I'll say good morning to people who just woke up, regardless of time of day. The Jesus candles are for tacky people who need to show people that they love Jesus. What's that? What was that one forum post that was, Like, my grandma had this figure because she thought it was Jesus, but actually it was Han Solo or something like that. It was like Luke Skywalker figure. She's like, no, this is Jesus. The one with Jesus, you can get it after finishing your communion class. Ah. How many communion wafers I have to eat to have consumed one whole? Yeah, what's the exchange rate on that? Oh, McBo, thank you for coming in. Hope you have a good day. Some candles are related to the church seasons. Church season? Depends on how tall you think Jesus is. In evangelical churches, you pay thieves. What is a thief? This is a word I've seen before, but I don't know what it is. Members pay 10% of the income to the church to help the community and other stuff. The church helps with like natural disasters and such. Some folks add extra to help missionaries across the world. Ah, that's thieving. Ah. 10% of all your money. That's a lot of money. But I guess if you're religious and it is helping for a good cause, that's not bad. I want to get the words right. I'm definitely gonna break character. I have an idea for like I'm obviously gonna be running this church, so I want to say churchy words, but obviously I'm gonna break character at some point to ask questions. Hello, first time priest. New phone, who dis? Some churches you're only helping to get the pastor a private jet. Have you seen those churches that look like rocket ships? I think they're so funny. Is that the private jet? I'm not in religion anymore, but I'm happy people can find joy and happiness through it. Yeah, I guess I've never been a religious person. I'm also a fox, so there's that. But I think if it isn't hurting other people and you do find genuine comfort in it, then, you know, it's a nice thing to have. Sort of ties you down. I hope you have an altar server, someone who helps during mass who rings a bell. What's the bell? What does ringing the bell do? I'm happy when churches don't take advantage of their parishioners, like prosperity gospel stuff. Church wafer, 0.25 grams. Weight of a healthy average man, 71 kilograms. Wafers to eat one whole Christ, 284,000. This has to be like an art piece thing, right? Has anyone ever like gotten that many wafers to recreate a human figure? He dropped candy over enemy lines for the kids of Germany. That's interesting. The bells of Notre Dame! Although it's not a required practice, an altar server often rings a small bell, or bells during the consecration to draw attention to the precise moment when the the conversion of the bread and wine into the body and blood of Christ takes place. I did it once, but I cannot remember. Thanks, Google. Those are words! Those are big words! They use less wafers, though, because there was chunks of wine in it, too! Oh, you gotta put the wine in, that's right! How much wine would it take to equivalent to human blood? I think I've heard how much human blood is in the body, and it surprises me every time I hear it. Maybe it was like a Full Metal Alchemist thing. Maybe I heard how much blood is in the human body from that. Transubstantiation. Man, these subs are trans, huh? Comedy, thank you for giving a sub to Spinoinkle. 5.5 kilograms of wine? I don't know what to convert that to, but that sounds like a lot. Red like wine? I can do that. Hi, Curl. Oh. Got red like wine! Here. Nakai, hi! Chat, recently was just praising your goblin art. Your Gobtober art. Oh, look at that face! Oh! The gift sub got caught in there. This is gonna cause a paper jam, guys. Comedy, thank you for getting a sub to Neko. That's a little over 12 pounds. I don't know what pounds in liquids are. You can tell me a pound of water. I don't know what that is. How many pounds are in a gallon? You can give me a liter or a gallon. I can do those. Twice in a row. You guys are good at that timing. They're real good at this. 1 kilogram of water is 1 liter of water. Wow. Okay. 5. That's a lot. How many Starbucks Trenties are there? That what's the one that holds a whole bottle of wine? That's the only reason I think about that Starbucks size, because they brag that you could fit a whole bottle of wine in this one cup. Pounds or weight, liquid is volume. It depends on the substance. Yeah, the measurement is definitely different. I know that for baking. 1 liter of water is like 5 Ariana Grande. I see. I'm learning the conversion rate. The numbers, they're adding up. That's that. And clouds. Ooh, not symmetrical though. Why would you want to drink 750 milliliters of any liquid, especially a caffeinated one? What if, now consider, you get 750 milliliters of milk? Ever think about that? How do you outline the brushstrokes again? Okay. Depending on how you have your menu set up, there should be a menu that says layer property, and it'll have these icons. The first one is the circle that will put an outline on it. Change the color to black. If you click this paint bucket tool, it'll change to whatever color brush you're using right now. Change the thickness to whatever brush size you need. I'd say like 5 or 6 plus. Make sure this is turned on. If it's turned off, it'll turn your outline to pixels. So on is smooth. But this is how you you turn on the outline effect. Oh, that's not right. 750 milliliters, that's like 8 honeys and a half. How many milliliters is honey? And is that in solid honey? How much honey equals 1 honey goblin? $750 milliliters of espresso will kill a man, I'm pretty sure. It takes me a few days to go through it. For the church wafer plus wine math becomes 262,000 wafers and 5.5 liters of wine. That's a lot. That also sounds very gross. Do you dip the wafer in the wine? Is that how it is? I saw a picture once of a communion charcuterie, not charcuterie, Lunchable? Lunchables are charcuterie, but it was like a communion Lunchable. It was like a little packet that had 1 sip of wine and 1 little wafer in it. Ah! Zeta, thank you for the blitzball. Honey Goblin is like 7 out of bad honey, so like 3. Welcome, we came from religion to math. Isn't it all the same, really? We're still on religion, but it's religion math. 1 honeys is 3 gobbies. Why is that? What is the conversion there? How many gobbos are in 1 Gary? Gary's tall, and he's also triple G. Gary's a big manly man gob. He is. He's the manliest. If you guys just compliment Gary, I'm gonna screenshot this and send it to him. Math is a language of science, and Scientology is religion, so regular science is religion too, so math is just how you understand all religion. I like that this is what we've come to, but we're also like, how many communion wafers makes 1 Jesus? How do you know the nicest way to say to someone, shut up? I don't think there's a nice way to tell someone to be quiet. What is the context? Who are you telling to be quiet? Love Gary, he's the best, even if he has centipedes in his pockets. Your voice is gold, but your silence is diamond? Oh my god. My favorite part of your stories is the sound they make when they end. Oh my god. Hey, there's something wrong with your mouth. There's sound coming of it. That's mean. But I like that. What did the other say about my 1 big brain moment from the other day? Oh, it's the... Hold on. The you complimenting Dem. It was a bunch of emojis, and then Mr. Manager going, same TBH. Oh, about the pants? Where did I send that one? Where did I send that one? This channel? It was astounding yeses. It was very good. Hold on, let me read it out for chat here. What are pants, if not a dress for each leg? Son, have you watched Ruby? I feel like you like it. I did used to watch Ruby. I used to watch, all the episodes each time they come out. I watched a couple seasons in, but I dropped off of it, after a while. But I did used to really like it. It very much got me into, animation. A lethal dose of caffeine is 200 milligrams per kilogram of body weight. So that means the lethal dose for the average healthy man is 1.42 kilograms. That's a lot. Hold on. How much caffeine is in? I don't know, like tea. How much caffeine is in, sure, a cup of coffee. Uh 1.42 grams. So that's a, oh, what? What math wrong? What math? Wait, where did the math go wrong? I was scrolling through Ruby art, saw Bumblebee, and went, "Oh, bees! Like Sun's bee for honey." I really liked Ruby. I actually used to make edits. Not that I posted them anywhere, but I think the scenes were very versatile for editing into videos, like AMV style. Milligrams to gram, not milligram to kilogram. Of by order of magnitude. Ah, okay. So the lethal dose is 1.4 grams. And wait, I was looking it up before. Wait, how many milligrams of caffeine in a cup of coffee? Basically 100 milligrams. Which, isn't that just 1 gram? 2 cups of coffee, you're dead. Okay, yeah, 100 milligrams. That is 0.1. Math! I haven't had to do math since I got out of high school. My college didn't require math. What is 7 times 6? A number. No units of 1,000. Ruby has gotten good of late. If you end up picking it up again, all I ask is you skip season 4. I think season, like, 5 is where I stopped. I think I stopped at season 5 or something. Or I think season 6 began, but I didn't have time to catch up with it. How many seasons are there right now? There's quite a few. I should have died like 4 times today then. Humans consume excessive amounts of what they're recommended to eat and consume. Season 5, season 6 slaps. For personal reasons, I did stop watching Ruby. But I might catch up with it one day. I do still like the series. It's like 42 or something. I'm okay with math to a certain extent. I memorized a good chunk of the numbers. It's like 7 times 6 is 42. That's because 7 times 5 is 35 plus 7 is 42. That's how I do a lot of math, which is I have base points that I know the answers to, and I just kind of add up a little bit from there. I do math. My college didn't require math. I was surprised that I remembered not everyone goes for an engineering degree. Oops. I'm pretty sure I was supposed to take a math course, as just like a lot of colleges and universities just require that by state to be like, take a science, take a math, take this and that, maybe a business, just for like state education wise. I just didn't. I don't know why. I don't know who let me get away with this. There are 8 seasons so far. Okay. I think I remember, like, I think 7 being announced when I definitely fell off of it. I use math every day and I still do multiplication the way you described. It's easy. You know how I remember 8 times 8? If you turn the 8 and 8 sideways, they look like controllers. And they add up to a Nintendo 64. Ta-da! Memorization. And 56 is 7 times 8. And it's 5, 6, 7, 8. This is how I do math. This is how I've always done math, and it stuck with me. Who needs to do calculations when you can just forcefully remember the numbers? I go by the rhyme 6 times 8 is 48. Of course 8 rhymes with 8. How is that a rhyme? Is it a rhyme if it ends in the same word? This is too much for my brain this time of night. Goodbye, you bunch of smartasses. Memorization being equated to understanding the subject is bunk. It definitely is true. I mentioned to you guys yesterday I almost went into a science field, right? I was very good at chemistry, which is another reason I mentioned Phoenix Wright being like the motivator for me wanting to go into a science field. That's partially it. I was very good at chemistry. That was something I was just very good at figuring out, like the science, like the numbers, how the molecules add up, that kind of stuff. Hardcore cooking. I guess it is. As Blues, thank you for the hydrate. Alternate universe breaking sun. That sounds cool. That sounds like an album name. But yeah, I was very Aura Anime Attack, the Breaking Sun. Yeah. All of it's gone. All that information is gone because I have not needed to think about it or use it in ages, but I was very much into chemistry and I was very good at figuring out like bonds and stuff like that. I don't remember what it's called, but it's like you had like the elements and they had like these or they had like these and you could like form little like boop 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 boop. I'm making this up. I know there's no like just Z, I think. But it was like those formats and you like structured the molecules together that way. I was good at those. Chemistry is pretty interesting as a subject. I was pretty good at it too, but I just like the math and chemical composition stuff. That's my favorite part. I cannot explain it, but I really liked it. I was very fast at it. But I ended up not going into that type of field at all, so goodbye. I was very good at, like, brute studying. I don't know what the actual term for it is, but, you know, like, cramming for tests the day before and passing because you memorized it, and then the next day you don't need that information anymore, so you delete it. That's me. Some people are just good for that sort of, yeah. For some people, it just comes more naturally, or the interest holds longer. That's just called cramming. I'm very good at cramming. I would say I'm so good at cramming, I got very above average scores my entire life, which is to say I was a BA student. 1C, and that's it. It was a middle school. It's fine. But I think my favorite memory was applying for colleges, and my mother looking at my SAT score and going, you know, I was always a bit sad that you were never like a straight A student. You always got like average scores. You always had a lot of B's. But I'm also very impressed because I don't think I've ever seen you study a day in your life. So maybe you are actually a genius. And that has stuck with me ever since. That had inflated my ego tenfold. Studying sucks. I like studying. I don't like studying for the sake of just answering questions, but I do love researching and studying and putting down facts. I have executive dysfunction, which means I was good at tests, but I never did homework. That's the thing. You don't have to be great at homework. Very, very few times. When I learned that teachers kind of don't care what the answer is, as long as you did the work, you can put down whatever you want. They're not gonna check. Don't do this, kids. Stay at school. Do your homework. But, ooh. What did I scan? Look at my little wink. Once I kind of figured out, as long as I am a good kid in school, the teachers are never gonna pick on me to be like, you definitely have to do the answer because I don't think you did your homework. I'm gonna check to see if you did the work. If you act like you're just trying your best, the teacher's gonna be like, okay, they're trying their best. I definitely got away in a lot of history classes by having 2 pages of homework that looked like I filled out the page and that I never did homework for the rest of the school year. Because I just kept showing the teacher the same 2 pages again and again. I still did great in that class. I just did not like doing the homework. I also definitely upset people in that class for not doing the same amount of work that they were doing, but getting better grades. I'm very good at bullshitting, yeah. What layer is this on? Fix it. I'm very smart, but in a clever way, I think. I'll never claim myself to be, like, book smart. I definitely know my facts. I know the little niches that I am niched up in. I jack of all trades. But I'll never claim to be, like, the smartest one in the room. Because there's always going to be someone who knows more than me about something, I feel. But I'm very good at pretending to know more than people. The keeper of useless knowledge? I love that. I'm sharing you my secrets, but don't tattle on me. I'm years out of school. I don't need people finding out how bad I am at this stuff. Not now. All gifted kids are good at bullshitting. That's how it feels. But as long as you put your effort in, it's fine. I have such clear memories of walking into... I don't know where this came from. I just remembered it. But I have such clear memories of walking into a literature class and there was a test that day, and I didn't remember that there was a test. I go, is this like a pop quiz? Like, what's the test for? I whispered to my fellow student, and they go, oh, it's that book that we got yesterday. I'm like, we had this book for like 1 to 2 days. What do you mean I had to finish the book? I did not read the book. I did not pass that test. Evidently. My weakness was always literature classes. Not because I didn't like reading, but because I was very bad at interpreting the writing, if that makes sense. When I was in college, I had this one class where for some reason the teacher said it was okay not to finish the books, but like we had tests that required you to finish the books. So like one of the first few tests we had, the question was like, what did the author mean by this symbolism? And I just had to write down, I did not finish the book, so I did not get to that part. I'm so sorry. And then when I got my test back, they had written, thank you for your honesty, but you got a 0. 1 to 2 days? That's difficult for books, for adults. It was, I clearly remember, it was Fahrenheit 451. I think that was the title of the book. I did not even open the book. And one of the questions were like, something, the seashells. And I'm like, what is this book talking about? I have no idea. In a single day? It's definitely doable. It was like 2 days. We had the book for like 2 days. You don't have to read the book to know what it's about? I still don't know what it's about. I still have never read the book. I don't know what it's about at all. 256 pages in 2 days. That's nuts. It is. I'm also someone who will read manga in a night. I mentioned this yesterday, but I'll read manga and I'll read like about 80-90 chapters in a single night. That's how I caught up with series like Spy Family and Bleach. I read all of Bleach in 2 days. See, manga has pictures, but there's also text. I finished all of Bleach in 2 nights. 2 days. That's all it took. From start to finish. Chapter 1 to the final chapters. And then I went out to dinner with my friends. My roommates. I can chew up fiction super fast. I also read fanfics. There was definitely a book that I had to read for an assignment. That was like, it's a 500-page book. Like, my group was definitely given like the bigger, heftier book of the selection for this project. But it was fine. I can read fast. I did not read the book until like the last 2 days before we had to like turn in the assignment. But guess what I did read instead of the 500-page book? This 120-chapter fan fiction that was much longer than the book. The nights of reading fanfics all night and being up till 4 a.m. I still do that. Do you know what danme are? Do you know those like Chinese web novels that are very much about boys smooching? One of them I finished in less than a week. I had like other stuff to do, but I finished it in like a week. Apparently, it is much longer than the Bible. And so I finished that. Is stream buffering? What is happening? Why am I connected to chat? Danish class, I had to read a book. I never read it. I just knew the story was about the basic gist of what happened. Full score on that. I'm gonna refresh really quick. Don't break. Don't break. Don't break. Are you guys there? Am I buffering? It's still connected to chat. Guys, if you can hear me, say town map. Is important. Oh god. Where's my chat? Is it actually broken? Hold on. I might be okay. I don't know. I can't tell. Well, I'll just keep rambling on. I still remember reading Project Horizons of having an existential crisis because I couldn't process the emotions I was feeling. And that happens sometimes. That's okay. I don't know what that story is about. But I can imagine. Books are funny. Words do things. I'm still connecting to chat. I don't know what's happening right now. I wonder if it's just my Twitch thing being bad. I don't know how to fix it. It could just be Twitch. It could just be Twitch's end, and I can't do anything about that. Well, it is how it is. It's all over Twitch. Well, I guess I'll go a little bit longer. Is it that you guys can't, chat? Oh, did it just connect? Are you guys alive? Are you okay? I'm so relieved. That was a long... It was chat. It was just chat, right? As far as I could tell, it was just the chat box doing a weird thing. Guys, refresh and type town map if you're still with me. I'm free! Yes! There you are. Oh, that was so scary. I was like, my bitrate's fine. Like, it's not my internet. And the redeems are back too. Were the redeems gone? But yes, we could hear you. Oh man, I should have said something like really, really out there that you guys couldn't respond to. Everyone was having the same issue, I think. Jeez. Well, hopefully it's fixed now, right? That's what it seems like. Okay, we can keep going then. The redeem's working either. I was trying to find something to signal we were still here, just unable to talk. I did get, Game Like and messaged me on Discord, which seemed fine. Some intern push code to prod skin. Help! Oh, I'm glad you guys are back. I missed you! Even if it's like for 2 seconds, I missed you guys. I was debating if I should DM, but I don't really know you personally on Discord, so that's fine. If I am in a Discord server... Ah! That's right, thank you for gifting us up to Scribbler, and thank you for the Blitzball, Phantom. I'm okay with DMs. As long as they're not, like... uncalled for? Is that the right word? As long as you're not DMing me for something weird, like, you're fine. I trust your friends to message you first. As long as it's not like an uncalled for DM, if you can find me through someone else's community server, feel free to message me if you think it's if you feel it's important enough, or you saw like a picture that's funny. I might not respond, but I'll definitely read it. If you read Fahrenheit 451 at 250 words per minute, which is bonkers speed to me because I can read at almost 80 words per minute, it takes about 4 hours to read. This means at 110 words per minute, which is reasonable, it take over 10 hours. How do I find out how fast I can read? Can I DM you with shitpost though? Absolutely. There are people who do it. People like just send me cute tweets or images that I saw online or like memes. Sometimes I'll respond, sometimes I'll just react with emojis. So you better be okay with that. But know that I do see them. CSP question. Is there a way in this thing to measure contrast between 2 points? To measure contrast? I guess not exactly. So if you, how do I explain this? If you open up the color settings and you color pick something, here's the colors, right? So this is, how do I, lighten? If I highlight it like this, right? This is red, this is green, this is blue, this is the hex code. I have no idea what these are. CMYK. This is hue, saturation, and value. If you color pick something and read the value, it'll tell you what the value is. So white is clearly at 100, black will be at 0. So if you do want to compare, like, I guess like the contrast between something, it'll tell you based on this. Which I assume that the value is purely based on the value here. Hold on. I actually bring this up. Yeah, okay. So if you say brought it up, brought the slider to here, say the value goes to 50. If you drag it all the way across here, it'll remain at 50. If you don't, you know, go up and down. But if you actually want to compare, say, like this in value, something you can do is fill the whole page with black or white, change the blending mode to color, and then you could view saturation or color will both yield the same results. I don't know about reading words per minute. I do know I can type at 64 words per minute. I cannot type. Not for the life of me. That I do know. I can type fast, but it's always going to be filled with typos. What? For what reason do you want to compare contrast? If that's something you can answer. Like, do you just want to compare values, or is there like a specific reason you need to know? To make sure the shading is going to be pronounced enough. Okay, so what I would usually do then is... Ta-da! This is what my sidebar looks like. I'll have a layer on top of all the other layers that I have. You can even color it if you'd like for it to stand out. That is set to the color blending mode. Oh, you can't see that menu pop up, but you can see me clicking this thing. As opposed to, like, say, normal. Set it to color. And so, toggle it occasionally. There is a way to preview an image in grayscale, but I'd say this is the fastest way to test if the whole image is good monochrome or not. Do I have an image I could test this with? Do I have any fun illustrations? I'll do this sometimes. I don't think too heavily on it. Sure, doodles I've streamed. Things I've exported, perhaps? Okay, thanks much. Yeah. Oh, geez. Here's something I drew, like, when I first started streaming. Here's an illustration I've done. It's a whole nice illustration. I got black set. Black or white or gray will all work. I said it's a color. You could see where, the background values don't quite overlap with the on-body values. There's enough contrast between the accents and the main parts of him. So it's a good way, and it's gonna be on top of all the other layers. The thing where the arms grow darker near the hands is peak character design. There's actually an element of this character I forgot. Do I have it, like, somewhere here? I had, like, initial sketches of this character where he's a kaiju. So I had like a radioactive aspect to him where his chest had this really cool like electric like it's an electric blue scar across it. I just forgot that in this because I was so nervous drawing. I'd like to draw him again though. He's a very fun character. I do love claw elements like that, though. They're very fun. They're fun to look at, so I like to use them. If I see a character design aspect and I go, wow, I really like that. I want to see more of those, and might as well do it myself. I took a speed reading test. Turns out I got faster. 126 words per minute. Hold on. Speed reading test online. Do we do this live? How do I measure? Click the start buddy, start reading. This button starts the timer. Don't speed read, but read normally to find your present reading level. Click the stop button as soon as you have finished. It will stop the timer and display your reading speed. Before you start the test, you may click start, scroll down without reading, then stop to see what happens. Oh, okay, start. Stop. Okay, that's what it looks like. You guys mind I take like a minute to read this? Should I? How do I stream this without accidentally? Okay. Go ahead. Okay. I'm not gonna read out loud because I think reading out loud does slow me down. So it's not speed reading. I'm just gonna read it. Okay.
Oh, I can't read it. Oh.
Okay. And hydrate. That's what that was. Prince Subs, thank you so much. So I got 415. What does this mean? Screen? Paper? Comprehension? What does this mean? Screen? I guess I read a screen. I'm a good reader. 415 words per minute is apparently how I read. At least on screen. I guess that makes sense. Paper would be different. You are an auditory reader. Something reader provides several speed reading modes to pace your reading beyond the sound barrier. Wait, what? I read fast. How long was that web novel I was reading? You discussed it in the blurb you read. I guess so. There's a lot of words on this. They're weirdly. You know what? I was just thinking of the website was weirdly bolded in some areas, but the first sentence, the first word of each sentence is highlighted on some of these to kind of hook you on to this is the beginning of the thing. 415 words per minute, but the comprehension was lower than? Pretty much. I understand that the way I read is I hook on to the beginning of sentences and in the beginning of paragraphs, and I gander the information. I could have read faster. That was not me speed reading, that was me reading as I normally would have. 410 for my result. That doesn't seem right, but I guess it's because of the way your brain processes information. Yeah. I kind of, like, picked up on what I thought, I guess, my eyes thought were important. So, like, numbers, bigger words, anything that looked more familiar. Never said I was a good reader. The trick is, though, is how much of something you read and how much of it do you hold in your head. And I guess it depends on the subject. If it's something that I'm reading to find the answer for something, I'll read as fast as I need to comprehend the answer or find my answer. If I'm reading for the sake of, like, reading for pleasure, I guess, that could vary. If I'm reading, like, a book that I'm very interested in, I'll probably read at that speed. And my brain will retain more information because that's something I'm more interested in. Just naturally. Uh, 126 with my 90% efficiency and has my EWPM at over 100 still. If it's especially light, I'll probably read faster while maintaining information. Like, I'll listen to people talk, and sometimes I'll retain like 2% of the information because I just have bad hearing. 410 is at 50%. 410 at 50% is still EWPM at 200 roughly. It is definitely, I skip over words that I do not think are important, but that does lose comprehension at times. That I can definitely understand. I think I'll like slow down it if I'm reading a book dialogue. I'll probably slow down reading, especially when there's characters conversing. You need to slow down to understand who's talking in a scene. I end up having to reread entire pages multiple times. That, I feel that. It's like those memes where the sentence is complete gibberish, but it looks like it could be a sentence. You gotta see if there's any double meaning behind the words too. Also depends on the writing. I've definitely read tons of books where the formatting is just bad. I remember reading one web novel where the dialogue was new paragraph, new space, quote, a character's dialogue, end quote, but still in that same paragraph, it's the next character's action. So it always made me double take and go, oh, did that character actually say it? No, it was the previous character, but for some reason they had the next character or a different character proceed an action immediately after that dialogue line. And I was like, that is bad writing. Have you been through the magical forgetful doorway? It happens. Just like The Sims, someone's canceled your action midway through. Bearing in mind it don't take me long because dyslexia and autism make it harder. Oh. Ooh. The neurodivergence. I feel that. I actually, I don't think it's any secret that Dem has some degree of neurodivergence. I think I could talk about this. But when I write messages to people, I will sometimes write very long messages, because that's just how I type. I'll write out a bit more than I think is necessary, just because I want to be very clear about what I'm trying to say. And I want to be like, I'm covering something, and I think I need this much information. But if I message Gabi or Petra something important, I will try to break it down and summarize it as much as possible, because I know those two do not like to read, and if I type out instructions to them, they will probably miss something if I type too much. So I'll try to like space it apart so it's easier to read, or highlight things that I think are more important for them to be like, this thing, do it. Otherwise I have to like verbally be there to help them with something. Which is not to say I don't think that they're competent, but they just don't like reading. Any games where like lore or instructions are visual text blocks, they will not follow it. You're the sweetest friend. I just know my friends well. I have a friend who will only text message me in voice messages. Like a chunk of the time in a group chat, they'll just send a voice memo instead of texting. And I'm like, I mean, I'll listen to it when I can, but there is someone in this group who will never read this, and they will never find out what is happening. I had to distill what I want to say so often that it's a bad habit and hard to convey exactly what I mean, so I have to communicate using analogies a lot. Yeah, that's definitely understandable. People just communicate differently. I will honestly write down entire chunks of paragraph. If you message me and it takes me like 2 hours to get back to you, there's two possibilities. And this goes to everyone who I message. One, I am writing something, I've written something, and I'm rereading what I've written to, one, make sure there's no typos, two, to make sure I'm not saying something stupid, or I've concisely cut down as much as I need to. Option 2, I have done the exact same thing, but it's taken me so long that I either am hesitant to send the message because I'm like, the moment has passed, or I've forgotten to send it because I thought I sent it and I did not. Same, son. It takes 2 hours. There's definitely a thought process behind that. And that's why I, like, get anxious when people don't message me back quickly, especially when they're, like, mid-conversation, but I also understand because I am that person. I am the person who is not responding immediately because you can see me type, stop typing, type, stop typing. So I apologize ahead of time. But it's okay. Scuff on stream, scuff in real life. Scuff is life. Embrace the scuff. I will do everything in my power to make one of Dem's merch lines Embrace the Scuff merch. Why did it take so long to return the message? Proofreading software was stuck in loading. So my writing habit is I'll write in bullet points. I like to write in bullet points because I think it's easier to read the points I want to make if I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's what you need to know. So I'll tend to do something like that. Also, when I used to write stories, fun fact, I dabble in, you know, creative writing, that kind of stuff. I noticed that I had a habit of kind of doing the same thing, but in dialogue, where I'll just, like, exposition this, like, nice big thing, but the dialogue is very back and forth because I'm trying to get information across, and it basically is just me expositioning information in, like, what about this? Well, this thing is blah, 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 blah. And it's not for a very fun read, I think. It's like it's like reading a Q&A. Especially if folks are very overly critical of themselves. They tend to think, did I say that right? Did I offend them? Why are they not talking to me? What did I do wrong? Kind of thoughts. Yeah, it happens. And I don't have any advice for that. It's just something that tends to happen. And also, the other side is likely also going, oh, I should respond to that. And then forget. And it happens. Who knows? A little self-projection there, sorry. It's okay. And it's on topic. I definitely feel that sometimes. That's why, also, instead of, like, responding to things, I'll react with emojis or reactives. If I do that, it is not because I don't want to message you, that is my response to messaging. That is my visual marker of, I have read this, I am reacting to it, and that is the day. Same. I'm gonna grab a bit of food, be right back. A-okay. I'll probably get, like, the base of this finished up. I love working on line art, but usually when I... I like all aspects of art. I love coloring, I love shading, I love line art, but usually not at the same time. It is, oh, I feel like lining something, but if I want to do line art, I have to do a sketch. And then it's, oh, I want to color something. I feel like coloring and shading, but first I need to have something to color. So I had to do all the other steps. Message acknowledge methods are a good thing in my eyes. But good. I'm glad it's getting seals of approval here. That looks pretty cool, if I do say so myself. There's something I wanted to try with this. And we'll see if it looks good. If not, we go back. We undo until it's unscuffed. Oh, there's lines between this thing. Hold on. How did I not see these? Yeah. Now that looks pretty okay. This looks pretty neat, honestly. Once the colors are blocked in, especially. Oh, this shouldn't be like a solid shape here. This should have these segments at least, right? Now that looks much better. I'm in a brand new environment, so I'm trying to change the way I think so I can be happier. It's almost been a year since I moved away from a bad environment. They kept calling me crazy and myself. I think self-doubts. Self-doubt is only like a natural, intrusive thought. I think you shouldn't feel bad for, involuntary thoughts. Because they'll happen, and you just need to work hard to prove to yourself that that's what they are, just involuntary thoughts. Okay, filter. I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna try to adjust this. The line width. This is a filter in Clip Studio Paint. And the reason I wanted to do this is the reason why I use such like a thick brush, is because naturally it will like taper in these middle parts. You see now how like it's sort of done this? All of the pieces there? That's the effect I wanted. So instead of manually having to do that, I adjusted, I filtered the line width. I think it looks pretty cool. Stained glass is so weirdly magical to me. I think it's so cool. I think there's some gorgeous stained glass. Digital artistry is amazing. Thank you for the hydrate. I've done, stained glass-esque art before, but it was very like, oh, my first time trying it out, and now I can see where I can improve on it here and there. Bip. If I go... just something simple, right? Right there. And use that as reference. Let's fill this in. Right? I think Maybe yellow would be better. Like a nice yellow base. Yeah. I heard something that I can't quite recall. It was something like your initial thought is your trained reaction. Your thought after reflection is your real reaction. I think that applies to self-reflection too. Give yourself a chance, I say. Yeah. That's definitely a good way to put it. I actually like that a lot. It is a, you know, just a reaction you had, any worries, any doubts. Like, give yourself a moment to kind of reflect on them. I think that having moments of self-doubt aren't entirely bad. I think it definitely means that you recognize that you yourself have room to improve on something, that you could have done something better. But definitely give yourself the benefit of the doubt that you can do better, but you shouldn't stress about it. If that's an okay way to word it. Second guessing can be good, because you never want to be the person that never doubts anything they ever do. Yeah. As much as I would love to encourage that sort of hedonistic approach, and I do tend to be someone who eggs on other people to do things, caution is not always bad. Be confident, but never arrogant. Yeah. Sun has great influence. Me? When someone says, should I do work or play? I go, play. Treat yourself to something. I'm definitely not the best influence. Because I'm someone who's already been through a chunk of life. Not to say that I've done everything and everyone's experience is the same, but, like, I've gone through school. I can complain a little bit about school and that kind of stuff as a treat. That's what I mean when you say you're a good beans. As a treat. A little bean as a treat. Oops. I'm trying to make it so the colors aren't directly touching too much. Let me pull up my little Pinterest thing so I can see what colors I can... Maybe some... Take some blues in there. I got good at impulsive decision-making things. Always tend to work out. Every time second-guess a choice before doing it, bad results occur. Folks ask how I was so lucky to have things work out despite my actions being impulsive. Ever have that kind of luck? I suppose so. I would say... luck is not my strongest suit. But I have always prided myself in... I guess, like, keeping a chin up even if the luck isn't going my way. No, that should be the darker one. I've definitely had my share of bad luck. Because I don't have, like, the best instincts. I'm, like, a little bit too calculating for that. But people who have good instincts have good instincts. There's definitely an aspect to that that's you should be proud of. I don't have common sense, so I survive using instincts. You know what? That's fair. Hydrate. Mm. Everyone has a means of survival. Oh, a smiley face. Ooh. The Keyblade is What a visceral sound that is. We're all good at some things, bad at others when it comes to common sense. Yeah. I had no plans for the colors. I generally know what I'm gonna do here, but let's see, let's find out. This one would be white. Nice blue. There's no blue in the rainbow, is there? Like... maybe like that? No blue in the rainbow sounds like a dumb sentence coming out of my mouth. I mean, like, in sky rainbow. Is there a streak of blue? There is? Sky blue, dark blue, violet. Depending on the rainbow, of course. I guess I mean, like, I could just look this up. Like, when you see a rainbow in the sky, is there, like, blue in the middle of it? The answer is no. I just don't know what order a rainbow is, even though I know what Roy G. Biv is. It's just 3 colors, but our eyes blend the colors. Yeah. Well, undo. It's, it goes to orange. Yellow. Not that much yellow. Change this to aqua. That scene is fine. I have no idea why this popped up in my head. The Gobby, the Bad, and the Ugly. Gobby in a throwaway gunfight. Alright, gonna head to bed. Night, all you sweeties. Comedy, thank you so much for hanging out. You have a good night, okay? Have sweet dreams of stained glass and reading really fast. I don't know what the good, the bad, and the ugly is. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just gonna put this into the group chat anyway. Because anytime you mention my friends, and it's funny enough, it's an Eastwood movie. I don't really watch movies. I'm gonna use the excuse of I was sealed away for a couple of years to say I didn't watch a lot of movies. I just don't watch movies. I'll have sweet dreams of your floofy tales. Sweet, soft dreams. It's a Western movie about revenge. Oh, who's the ugly? Is it Clint Eastwood? Every Western movie is about revenge back then. I guess so. I know the name Clint Eastwood. That I'm not unfamiliar with. I'm aware that he is a... not that he is a cowboy, but he's casted as a cowboy, I guess? Is the way it would go. Where is my... For other layers, close gap, opacity. Clint Eastwood was the good. Oh. Hydrate. I can do that. Thank you. My nutritious beverage is water, which I think is still good for you, I guess. Even if you haven't seen the movie, you've probably heard of the theme. It's quite famous. Probably. I don't know if I could play it on stream for copyright, but I'm sure I've heard it. What I'm finding out is I know these things, but I just haven't associated it with something. Because, Gabi showing me Final Fantasy X is me going, I know exactly who these characters are and what these are and these names are. I didn't know it was from Final Fantasy X. Like, what's his name? Auron? Vivi? Blitzball? All that kind of stuff. I didn't know it was from 10. I do now. I apparently know a lot about Final Fantasy IV, despite never playing it or knowing anything else about it, other than, like, names. Vivi is from 9. Oh, who am I thinking? Oh, Lulu. I was thinking of Lulu. Because I jokingly said, oh, what if I dress up as that character with a bunch of belts? And then Gabi going, oh, she's from this game, by the way. I go, what? The theme had an ocarina played in it. The Eastwood movie, I mean. Oh. Eli Wallach is the ugly. The joys of learning something through osmosis. You know the things, but not how they're connected. That is me with most things. If you ask me anything about a lot of stuff, I'll probably have heard about it, but I won't know the details. Like JoJo, I could talk about JoJo. I have seen 1.5 episodes of JoJo in my entire life. I could talk about it though. I could pretend to know about it. I could probably pass a conversation with someone who has actually watched JoJo before. I don't like that this is, like, really dark. Hey Belton, I think Sora from Kingdom Hearts 2. Do you know that, Riku from Kingdom Hearts 2 was wearing his jeans inside out? Have you ever seen that post? Someone pointed out, like, man, it's really weird that his pockets are, on the outside like that. It's because his jeans are inside out. Have you ever heard of Mel Brooks? I've heard that name before. Man, those JoJos sure like to stand weird. Am I right, boys? They just really like standing. You know, like, they talk about it all the time. They stand on their way to Egypt. They stand in Italy. They be standing. I also know the openings. The openings are good. I can't believe there's a whole anime about stands. Terrible. JoJo is their nickname. Their actual name is Stan. It's an entire family. It's an entire family, but their name is Joe Stan. I guess Joe first name, Stan last name is how it'll work. I don't know why I know so much about JoJo. I've also never read the manga. Damn, I can't get these JoJos to stop standing on my lawn. Diorama Brand is a vampire. I'm gonna send this to Ty. I know that Ty likes JoJo. Joseph Stanley. He has a white-collar job doing data entry. That's the next JoJo. Looking it up, The Good, Bad, and the Ugly music is in a weird state of copyright. The original score is past copyright, having been made over 35 years ago. The remake is in copyright, so be careful, I guess. Okay. So the remake of it does have, like, a refreshed copyright, but the original... Yeah. Okay, okay. I won't listen to it on stream. I'll listen to it right after. If you literally ask me any, like, non-specific JoJo question, I might be able to answer it. If you can't ask me, like, who's the character that did this exact thing, but if you're like... Hey, you know, like, this? I don't know. I can't think of, like, a specific question. I know, like, random facts about JoJo. I've seen, like, GIFs, memes, and fan art. Is the remake good? Any good for The Good, Bad, and Ugly? I could not tell you since I have not watched it. But someone else will have to tell you. Get those corners filled. I have not watched either. The whole thing should be white. This will also be white. This one would be blue, but a different shade of blue. Should just fill the whole thing in first. I got too many tabs open on my browser. I sometimes lose where the stream is on the tabs. Just look for the one... Can you not search tabs? What browser are you on? I know Chrome you could switch, you could like search on tabs. Firefox? Ah, okay. I cannot help you there. One that corner. Also be white. This streak will be yellow. This I probably want it to be yellow. This the rest is like blue, but like light blue. White. Clouds. White. Just fill this in. Fill in the blocks. Slightly darker blue. Stained glass coming together. Not cohesive. Way to describe the famous music bit. The Western standoff, the flute. Oh, wow, wow, wow. I do know that. Exactly as you describe it, like that, I do know that. describing it as the infamous Western standoff sound is a good way to put it. I thought that Sephiroth's theme was like an actual song for the longest time. Because I guess I had seen it attributed to Sephiroth, but I didn't realize that that was like the original soundtrack. I think I only saw it in memes, so I thought it was like classic music or something. Which, granted, it is orchestral, so am I really to blame? What if I made this like very sunsetty? It is a song in its own, technically. Is it? But yeah, I definitely had heard the song, and I guess I knew that it was attributed to Sephiroth, but I didn't realize, like, oh, this is Sephiroth's, like, theme. I'm learning. I'm slowly learning about the Final Fantasy series. Like a little egg right there in the middle. Oh, I didn't lock this. Oops. I know what I did wrong. I'll adjust these colors later. I don't know what this will be. I don't know what that'll be. I don't know what a chunk of these will be. That should be white. Oh, this can't be. What could be? Maybe purple. Some shade of blue. I'll figure it out. What I do want to do is create an effect like this. I have selected the outline, made a copy of the outline that is not the correct color I wanted. I'm gonna blur it. I'm gonna blur it more. Paste. Let's change it to like a nice... Not that color, this color. Gotta do some stuff, might come back, might not. Other way, you have a good evening. I think we're gonna wrap up soon. Because I could spend a billion years contemplating these colors, huh? Also, red is not flattering. But you have a good night. And anyone else who's come by, lurked, stayed as much as you can, thank you so much. I'm gonna inverse select. go like, hey, select less. This looks fantastic. Why, thank you. We're not quite done yet. So now what I've done is I inverse selected this and made like a little white patch in all of this. We're gonna add a little nice add glow. Now it looks like stained glass. It adds like a bit of an effect to that. Thank you for the CSP tips along the way. Of course, if you ever have any questions, please feel free to ask. Ah! I'm gone. Oh, the pumpkin. Thank you for the blitz ball. Get your blitz balls out. You only get 3 per stream. Oh, it broke my keyblade. It has an outline on it. It's so weird. Ugh. Ugh. Thank you for the... I can't catch any of these. My hand is full with this keyblade. But thank you for them anyway. They're very good throws. I love how we all try to whack him when it's scan time. They make for good scans. I need to have more stuff. There's some commands that do still work. I think like the taco command. Tacos? I don't remember which one. I think that one still works. Shouldn't have broken. I just forget to tell people that it's a command. Let me change the background color. Let's see, if I had, like, something here, right? Do I have, like, a radial blur? I do! But it's, like, not the correct place. It'll be from the center, huh? If you have something that blasts you for 1.5 seconds to the left side of the screen, that could be fun. Could be the tacos. Let's see, is that a command? It doesn't hit me, actually. It just bounces off me. Never mind. I'll add more stuff. I definitely wanted to add more little things that weren't so intrusive to the stream, but like would be still fun to do. I wonder if there's I wonder if there's like commands I could set up where it will scan but also time a perfect throw every time too. I think I could do that. Because I think I could set how much delay an item has. I'll figure it out. It's like this bokeh effect. Let's see. And another important aspect to stained glass is actually like a glitter type filter. Which I do actually have. Ta-da! Glitter. I'll actually rasterize that, up the contrast on this. So then the parts kind of stick out more, right? I can find one that has like a deeper kind of pattern to it, or smaller detail pattern. But I'd say this looks pretty good. I'll fix the colors of the stuff that I didn't fully color in myself. But this is my thumbnail. This looks pretty good, I think. Alrighty. Let's go say hi to our friends. You know, I saw a couple of my friends go live. A squish redeem that is worth like 5 to 6k that perfectly times the throw each scan. I should be able to do that. I would have to get the timing down, but I set the time for the scan as well as the like I set the scan as well as the I could offset the throws. So it would be a redeem that would set off the scan and a throw at the same time. So that it would time so that it would capture the whatever effect I'm gonna have, if that makes sense. I'll figure it out. It'll be fine, probably. A lot of people playing games. A lot of people have been playing spooky games lately. I love my friends. I can't watch them during their spooky games. Let's see. Wanna go say hi to Moon? Moon's doodling. It looks like it is her first art stream with the new model. What do you wanna use as a raid message? We know Moon, so we can kind of type whatever silly thing we want. You want to do the no one expects the sun inquisition? Where was that one? That was from quite the beginning of the stream. Twitch be glitching. Also, hi Mara. Look at it pointing at your planet. With a terrifying U eyeball in the middle. If you extend it long enough, it will become a hamburger. Just so you know. In my eyes. Let's see. I'm gonna grab Moom's URL so we can hop over. Yeah, that's just her username. I can't do anything with that. Raid, Moon bitch. Ugh. Alright. Let's see. Oh, yep. She's drawing honey. Oh, we'll figure it out on the way there. You can use whatever you want for the raid message because we are hardly coordinated anyway. If not, just spam the Dorito emote, actually. Just send a bunch of Doritos Moon's way. That thing. Alright. So I'll be off tomorrow. I think Gabi's also off tomorrow. So the next time you'll see us will be on Friday, probably. Did he just come in? We're raiding out. I'm so sorry. But we're gonna say hi to Moon. Send a bunch of little Dorito chips her way. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you later in the week with undecided video game. I guess I'll figure it out. Alright, bye.